My name is Samuel Pierce. I'm 71 years old, a retired carpenter, a widower, and a man who has lived long enough to know that family can be the greatest blessing or the deepest source of betrayal, and I learned that truth the hard way when my daughter-in-law, Melissa, decided she had the right to control every part of my life. From the food I ate to the friends I kept to the spaces inside my own home, until the day I finally showed her exactly who she was really dealing with. It all started slowly, the way manipulation often does, with tiny comments wrapped in sugar. Sam, you shouldn't be cooking at your age. You'll burn something. Sam, don't walk alone in the evening. It's not safe anymore. Sam, we should manage your medications. You get confused sometimes. At first I thought she meant well. After all, she was married to my only son, Brian, and I wanted peace. But her tone wasn't caring. It was controlling, condescending, the tone of someone who had already decided she knew better than me. What I didn't know then was that Melissa wasn't just being overbearing, she had a plan. One that involved more than just helping. She wanted control over my house, my pension, and eventually my independence. She thought I was too old, too slow, too trusting to notice. She thought I would let her chip away at my life until I handed over everything I had built. She was wrong, dangerously wrong. It escalated the day I came home from a grocery run to find Melissa rearranging my living room. Not dusting, not organizing. Rearranging furniture, taking down pictures of my late wife, packing up books, even unplugging the TV, my TV, in my house. When I asked her what she was doing, she didn't even look up. She just said, "Dad, this place is too cluttered. It's not suitable for someone your age. Brian and I are helping you adjust." Adjust to what? I wondered. She smiled, patted my arm like I was a child, and said, "We'll talk about it later." I told her to stop touching my things. She ignored me. I raised my voice. That's when she used her favorite weapon, fake tears. "I'm only trying to help," she sniffled loudly, just as Brian walked in. "Your father is yelling at me again." And just like that, I was the villain in my own home. My son took her side, defending her like she was made of glass. "Dad, she's trying. You need to let us help you." I stared at my son, the same boy I taught to ride a bike, the boy I raised alone after his mother died, and all I saw was a man blind to the woman manipulating him. But I bit my tongue. Not because Melissa deserved it, but because I wasn't ready to reveal what I had already begun to suspect. She wanted me out of the house. Completely. The next sign was the mail. Important letters stopped showing up. Bills disappeared. My bank sent a message saying there were requests for account changes. I went down to the branch myself, and the manager told me someone had tried to add a secondary user to my account, Melissa's name. She attempted to sign as my caretaker. My blood boiled. I told them to deny everything and add extra verification. They did, but I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed to know how deep her plan went. The next sign came a week later when she showed up with brochures, bright, glossy pamphlets showing retirement homes. "This one has bingo night," she said sweetly. "And this one has on-site nurses. You'll be so safe there." I stared at the brochures, then at her smiling like she was offering me a vacation. Safe there. In other words, not here. Not in the home I built with my wife. Not in the place where I had memories older than Melissa's entire existence. I asked Brian if he agreed with this. He hesitated. That hesitation broke my heart more than any argument could have. "Dad, it might be good for you," he said quietly. "We just want what's best." I knew then that she had him fully under her thumb. She played with his mind the same way she tried to play with mine, but I wasn't helpless. I wasn't confused. And I sure as hell wasn't moving. I needed proof. That's when I installed upgraded security cameras, hidden ones. I placed one in the living room, one near the front hallway, one in my office. And oh, did those cameras reveal the truth? They caught Melissa walking around with a real estate agent pointing out rooms she wanted to renovate, complaining about old people smell, and telling the agent, "We'll have him moved within a month. My husband signs the papers for him." They caught her rehearsing a story about me being unstable, forgetting things, talking to myself. They caught her telling Brian, "Your dad's house is our future. Stop worrying about his feelings." And worst of all, they caught her digging through my filing cabinet looking for my deed. My deed, the house I paid for. The home I built. The place that belonged to me and only me. After watching the footage, the anger inside me formed into something sharp, focused, unstoppable. She thought she was clever. She thought age made me weak. She forgot experience makes you dangerous. I didn't confront her outright. I wanted her to walk into the trap. So I called Brian and Melissa over for dinner. I cooked pot roast, his favorite, and set the table like old times. They arrived smiling, thinking I was finally cooperating. Melissa even brought dessert. I let them eat. I let them talk. I let Melissa babble on and on about the lovely retirement home she wanted to show me. Then, while they were finishing their plates, I clicked a button on the TV remote. The screen lit up. The footage started playing. First, Melissa walking through my house with the realtor. Then her talking about moving me out. Then the part where she said, "Once he's gone, we can finally make this place ours." Brian froze. Melissa's face turned white. She jumped up and started yelling, "You can't record me without telling me." I calmly replied, "In my house I can watch whatever I want." She turned to Brian and screamed, He set us up." Brian stared at her in disbelief. "Melissa, what is this?" She tried to deny it. Then she tried to twist it. Then she tried to cry. Nothing worked. Brian saw everything, her lies, her manipulation, her attempt to push me out of my own life. For the first time in years, I saw clarity in my son's eyes, like he was waking up from a fog, but I wasn't done. I walked to my office and returned with an envelope. Inside was a legal document signed earlier that day with my lawyer. A revocable trust, transferring my house, savings, and assets into a protected structure that only I controlled. Melissa had zero access, zero influence, zero power. And the best part? Brian couldn't sign anything for me ever again. I placed the envelope on the table and said, "Melissa, you tried to control me, my home, and my future. But you miscalculated. I'm not old. I'm prepared." She exploded, accusing me of ruining their lives, calling me ungrateful, calling me manipulative. My son finally snapped. "Melissa, pack your things," he said. She stared at him like she didn't understand English. "Brian, you're choosing him over May?" And he said the words I had prayed for. "No, I'm choosing the truth." She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the walls shook. Brian stayed. He cried, he apologized. He said he didn't know she had gone that far. I believed him. Not because he deserved immediate forgiveness, but because I saw the guilt in his face, the realization of how blind he had been. We talked for hours about boundaries, about respect, about the future. In the following weeks, Brian filed for separation. Melissa tried to fight back, but her recordings buried her credibility. My lawyer even threatened legal action for attempted financial exploitation. Melissa backed away fast. And me? I stayed in my home stronger than ever. My daughter-in-law tried to control my life, to overpower me with manipulation, to steal my independence piece by piece. But she forgot that age is not weakness. Age is wisdom. Age is strategy. Age is experience. And when she came for everything I had built, I showed her exactly who she was really dealing with, a man who refused to bow, break, or surrender.